Hi there, it's David here from davidfrosdick.com. In this video, I'm going to make a template using Optimizepress, and it's going to be a Gumroad styled minimal template that you can use if you want to have your products for sale using WordPress and Optimizepress and have it looking very minimal, like this one on the screen.
You're getting all hung up on imaginary problems. You gotta focus on what's real, man.
Okay, so here we are on a Gumroad page, this little product that I put together. I'm testing. I'm now moving this over to my WordPress site as well. I generally have products that I sell. I put them across different marketplaces, and I recommend you do the same. And this whole template style is quite nice. It's very on brand at the moment with Notion, but it's very minimal. So I'm going to build this inside of Optimizepress because it is pretty straightforward to do. So I've got Optimizepress installed. I'm going to go into I want landing pages under individual templates here. Let's go back, and I'm going to try and build a framework. Some of it, if it's save you watching like every little detail, but some of it I'm going to build. Let me just do this with using the similar structure. If there's parts where it requires a little bit more time, I'll just speed it up and then come back to it. So you can watch as I build live here, or not live, recorded as such. I was going to do a live stream for this, but now we are doing just like this. So we're going to start with a big template like that at the top, a section. Inside that section, I'm going to use a row, and I'm going to get the width of that row. And I think over here, if I go to right click, inspect element, and then let's make sure we pull that around here so we've got a bit more volume. Let's go like this. So we can see that's 1138 is the width of this template. So we're going to go with that. Let's go 1138. Actually, let's just go 1140. It was already 1140, and that's near enough, isn't it? So that's the first. So we've got like a row. So we have a row, then we have a 2-column row. So we'll put that in, and they all have black borders on. So the border style for this entire design, you've just got to watch where you put your borders and not put your borders. You can see you can have double borders on things. So one way to do this would be either to have an entire border around the whole row, so that put everything into one or even section, and have let's make a square border, and then when you put things inside, you just give those the designs like the borders. Or you could create, so this could be a row, and then this could be a 2-column row, and then everything's rows in the middle. So it depends how you do it. You can either make one big square and put a border on the whole big square, and then you start putting your content in, or you could make every section with borders. There's no right way or wrong way to do it. It's just figuring out which works for you. So to create the same style quicker, let's drop a column over here. Now for this, you can see we don't want the border on this one, so we want to take that off. I actually want it to go on the top solid and bottom. No, I don't want the top solid, I want the bottom solid. Sorry, start again. I want the left and right solid. The bottom, I don't want any. That didn't even work there. Let's go back. So let's click on that side, solid. And I want the column row gutter to be nothing. Because if you remember, we've got 2 columns there. We just need the internal of this one to have a border like so. That's going to be this line all the way down the middle of the page here. Another row, that side will be pushed to the top. This is a row as well. So this is a row. All this content is row, and that's going to be a column with rows in it and padding around it. So we're going to have some padding in there. Probably what we'll do first, we've already got padding at the top, so we'll lose that. And then definitely going to have some padding, so we'll drop another row in there that'll have the padding. That's how I'll do that. Let's pull this over. So we're going to have a row in here like that. That will have padding on it. So click on the row at the top here like this, and I'm going to go to advanced settings and I'm going to lock this and just give it all 10 pixels padding like that. And then I'm probably going to duplicate that row because it's got the same padding and drop it in that side, so that's done. And then we've got a border along the bottom of this column. I want to highlight the column at the top. I'm going to give it a bottom border like that. Okay. And then we've got, that's going to be another row underneath here. So let me see how I can think about this. Let me think. Go back. So we've got, that's a row. Then we've got another row here. And then another row in here. So I'm going to have to go in with doing rows in all that. Like, so let me just think how I'm going to lay that out. This could be 2 columns. So we can put a 2-column row in there with the name. It depends what I'm going to do with that row. That was all. So that row is the headline. And then if we get that row and clone it, we then have 2 rows like that. Inside here I'm going to drop another column. So there's our column. That row is going to need a top border. I think when you're doing these kind of things, you need to remember where you're putting the borders. There can be a lot of clicking going on trying to figure out. And if you remember this column, I need to lose the gutter again because I want that border. Let's put a border on this left side like so. And again, we've got the padding in the row above here. Let's do that and then do that. So we've got the row. But inside the column, what we can do is add a bit of padding. Let's lock it again and make it 10. Obviously, if you're doing these, you're trying to figure out which has got padding, which hasn't as well. Let's see what that is. And take that column and give that 10 across all those. Just drop a text in there. And then this is going to be pulled this way quite a bit. So we've got that column. That one's going to stay like that. In fact, this one's going to keep the text. Actually, that one I will just leave as the heading, so that's the first heading on the page. So we'll definitely leave that as a heading 1. And then this I'm going to style. I'll do is I'll just put in name. What font have we got here? This Plex font is very much, sounds very much like the actual font that Gumroad use. It's got normal. So we've got we also have a title and logo. I might use the image and logo element. Let's drop the logo and text. I think we can change this logo. What I can do is choose okay, I'm not going to use that one. What I will do is just drop another column in there. And inside that column, we're going to have to use the image. And there's a picture of me, that'll do. Drop that one in. And then we're going to have to give this a border. Like so. And it's really small. Then we'll center align that. Do that for all these columns eventually. The same for this one when we add text. So what I'll do is I'll just put my name in. That's got a slight border as well, which we'll give. Change the colour for it all. Let's have it. Actually, I wanted that. It looks serif. Actually, it's not serif. Let's take that down more, like that. That's an underline. No, I do. I mean, it's underlined through the link, but we don't need to worry about that. Let's make that. It's got here. Okay, there we go so far. I might as well take my same headline that I've used. Let's clear the formatting on that. And it's pretty big on here, isn't it? And it's also left aligned. So this whole image section, there's also a slight, radius on that top border here. So click these two. Maybe take it to 5 because that's even number. We could put an image in here, or we could put a background image in here. This is actually like you can put multiple images in here and it scrolls through. I don't know if I'll do that on mine. I will see. There was a double border on that, which I just spotted. I think it's because I've added the border on the column, so just taking that off. Let's save the page. Right, where are we? Down here still. So this is just a row. I think I added. Just put another one here. It's there. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I added the column, the border on this side I did. So it's on the side of that column. That means it will come all the way down. So that's good. So we've got a row here. We've got a row above that. Let's click in here a sec. Row there. Okay, so I'm going to that row and then put the bottom border on that. Click border. There we go. These cells get a bit smaller. I think the font is even smaller than that. Let's go lower. There's actually a lot more padding as well around this whole row here. Just show you, if I put padding at the top, it breaks that line there. So let's undo that. I think the padding needs to be applied inside the column. Here. So it might have actually been worth putting a row in a row there, because I could have controlled the padding better. So I might just do that. So I'm going to put a row in there. Let me just drop that there. Just undo that. Okay, I think what I'm going to do is put another row inside the column and a row, because that will allow me to style the padding on this overall bit here. So let me just move that column into here. And then move this column into here as well. Delete these two. it should be inside column, like a row, column, row. So why isn't there? Drop that into there. So I want to add more padding in here. So let's if we just put it around that column, it should push everything else down anyway. There's really small in there, but that's fine. Let's get that smaller. Just getting those two tucked closer together there. Right, where else? Let's see. So this is just one big row then. We are into here, and then on this side we've got these blocks. So these are like kind of row, very similar to what we've got there on this side. So these are going to be two columns. Let's drop a column in here. Okay, and there's lots of padding around that. So this whole column itself looks like it's got a good amount of padding. Let's do that. And a drink of coffee. Right, here we go. So we've got to put a pricing in here. We've got a feature. So let's take an icon. Let's drop in there. Use a button for this. So we're going to go like that and give it a price. Okay, so we've got a button here, and then let's give this. We use the button to get that circle effect, which will be clickable, but I think the other option is to make this whole thing a button. You've got to get that circle inside. So this is a row. We can't make a clickable row here, but we can possibly we could possibly make this a button. If we want this to be clickable, the whole thing could be a button, or we create a row like so, and also give the row like example, give the whole row a shadow effect. You can see when you hover over the row now, there's a shadow. Let's preview this. Okay, so I've styled up a button here. This one's a button rather than a row, so I just paused and done all that. You can see this is a button, the whole thing is clickable. This one's a row, so you go to it and then you would click. So I could make like the text a button or something else a button in there, like a little buy on this side. But this, you can see, is a button. So what I could do, let's click on this and check out all the styling, which was here, background. So we've got 45 using 6 and a 0 spread on that angle. So let's go to here, hover, yeah, because it's on the button, it's slightly different. Let's take the spread to 0. Let's make the color black. And the blur was nothing, so we've got to change the offset slightly different on the rows because it's not like a button. So you can see if I just make small changes, we should be nearly the same. There you go. So that row now has a similar effect. It's got a hover effect. Now when I come to do it, I can clone this row, you see, to make all these options here. I can just clone the row. So what I've done at the moment, let's refresh that. Well, this one's a button. I can put more text in. So I'm limited to text. This one's a row, so I can get more text in. Like this example, this one here has got more text. So just a couple of things. Let's see if I've not actually tried this before. So this is the subtext. Okay, we can get more text in there. That's fine. We could do that as well. So I'll leave the button on here because some people might want to use the button. If we want to style this, what we could then do is drop in another column here. And so we could either make this text could be a link, so we could link up text where they buy, or we could just do this. I mean, we could, lots of different options, however you want to do this. You could create a link like this that just says buy, or you could make this another button. Actually, let's put I want this like so. So we could make that a link, or we could actually put a really small button in there. I think a button will just look nicer, so I'm going to put a button in. Let's drop this in, like so, and get rid of all this subtext. And then I'm just going to change the text to say, I want this, let's make it bold there, look. So let's then change the size. If I put the color on it like that, that might make it. Let's save. Let's preview. We need to put the background color like on here. This got a whole background color on it, so I'm going to drop that in a moment. There you go. So now we've got this row with a button in. It says I want this, so it's a bit just other options people might want to use. I'll leave those in there. And then let's make this whole section a background color. Just does that. We then need to make sure our rows are white. I have to do that with all of them. Do it to this one here actually. So try and pick the overall row to do that rather than having to do each of them like I just done. Okay, so we're pretty good. We've got a button and we've got a row that do the same thing. I'm going to style up a bit more. Okay, right, so the next bit I will make a bigger button like that. Let's preview. It's a bit of spacing below that which I need to fix, which I'm going to turn off. I think I know what it is now. It's the subtext on the button here which I left on. Turn that off. There we go. That straightens that up. Let's reload. There you go. Just comes down enough. So this isn't clickable. The button is clickable. So it's people. Well, hopefully they'd realize that. Let's make a bigger button like this one. So we've got our button looking nice. Put a bit more. And I think like this one, I think it just said 5 left, 1 hour video session to plan. So let's do that. This needs fixed as well. And because it's height. So we actually need to make this thinner, so we're going to just drag this whole column over. That's going to change all these buttons. It's going to definitely change this one. So that needs to be a bit thinner to start. If we go to here, save that, go back, reload. Okay, this one's probably even thinner actually. I don't know what the width of that. Can do this and have a look. So it's 379 on that. Slightly thinner. Right, we're going to make this button here. So we've already got the button with the hover, so we might as well just copy that. Okay, so there we have the button styled. The font is really small actually, so let's even take that down more. The thing is, this font's the same as most of the others. But I'm just going to take it down even more anyway. Actually, and they're also, this is black. We want black. We want the text white, and then we want it to hover blue. There you go. So one thing with these, they're Gumroad. If you look, when you hover, the element pops out and goes up, whereas on mine, it's a shadow which I've just dropped below. So I don't move the above element, doesn't go up, it's just a shadow. Now, obviously, let's reload this. With the page as well, how we're doing this, we probably wouldn't have this button. That would just link through the checkout page, or this one would pop up with the checkout page. So I might make a few different versions on the checkout form with the checkouts, but you can have it pop up on the page with the form in, and we could have these as like order bumps in the form, or we'll go through to another page. So I'll make a few different options. I'll just build this little row section here with some stats like that. So we have one row that goes in. There's going to be one row, and then inside that we have rows of columns. We'll move. So this one have. Give this one the overall order. And see what we had. There's 5, so change radius. And then lose the. And then duplicate this row. So I'll delete that one, drop the text in, so I go. We've got format. Right, okay, there we have. We've built that little 5. Let's clone those now. You can see once I've create one, I can just clone it multiple times to get that look that I want. This, we could actually just center that, make it a bit more styled. Reload this page. So we just built this section, and then we've got text on the left, which is nothing really to add there. It's just text blocks. And there we are. And then we need a border across the bottom, which I'm just holding until I finish that side. But there's a bit more spacing around. So like this top and bottom of this would have spacing. Just to even up the spacing, is probably put a set amount between the bottom of each. Okay, like that. So put 20 below the bottom. If you were using this template, you could edit that and change that, depending if you move these buttons around. So let's just do the text block here. So I might see if I can just copy this. Control Shift and V to drop it in to clear the formatting. So these, you could do bullets like that using either obviously the bullet lists that we have in here. So you can create a bullet list. It's probably the best way to actually make that look better. So what I got there, a column. Really, this text block should go in that column. Right, so that's a row. We're in that row. So let's get some padding. It's obviously got to have the same amount of padding we've done everywhere else as well. That's one thing I've just spotted there. So this padding here is the same as this. So whatever we've got on here, which is a number of different paddings. Just putting my rows and things to 100% as well. So we've got a 10 pixel padding in there, which that meets. So let's change that side to 20. And I want that to be left, I want that in line with that above, which I'm not doing there. So let's try something. There we go. And then we can just pull this over more so it gets closer. And then we've got obviously to style it in mobile. So we switch to mobile, we've got a lot to style, move spaces, turn off borders. So the good thing is we can turn this styling in mobile will completely stay just with mobile. So we can make this look completely mobile optimized. But one last thing I'm going to do is just drop in a bullet list here. And I want it to go underneath that text. Like that, and then I want to make sure I've just got use an icon. And then let's what we got here, dots. Let's see if we've got just a dot. Okay, might just go with that one. That's quite tidy. And save that. I think I did add a line. Okay, so there we have it. We've pretty much built the whole thing. Put a border at the bottom there, and that column. So I'm not sure if it was that row, so that row could actually have the border on it there. Let me just turn off the border on this column. That didn't, so it must be that column. There we go, let's turn that off. Let's apply the border to that row. Probably easier to do, like I said, is just the one big row with the borders on at the start, but there you have it. And let's drop an image in here. So let's nab the image I made off here. And then we want to drop an image in. Let's put it in at full size. And then we can remove that padding that I put on initially. Save. There we have it. We are done. I'm going to come and style up the text, finish off all the text for this, get it neatly laid out like this. And might just make a few tweaks to things like the font here. Maybe even make that stand out a bit, just change some of the spacing. See if I can. Actually, the line height looks. Let's give it a bit of breathing space in that box, but let's turn that down. And then I want to add a bit more padding top and bottom of this. Actually, you could probably just apply that all the way round, doesn't matter. Okay, there we have it. Built, template ready to go. And you use. If you want to use this template, you can follow the links below this video and you can get access to it. I'm going to do a bit more styling of a few things, the buttons, just to finish off, minor tweaks. But there you go, we've got a little Gumroad style template built inside of Optimizepress.